2 weeks ago, I gave myself the goal to reach GM by the end of the year and made a video about it. There, I established things such as that I would only play Hanzo and Tracer because I genuinely enjoy playing them more than anyone. I talked for a while about the long-term growth mindset and how to not get upset at your teammates. And I also established a system of improvement where I implement habits one at a time. During my first week, I realized that my aim with Hanzo was really struggling, because I started playing Tracer alongside him. But since I really enjoyed playing Tracer, I decided to drop Hanzo and picked up Junkrat to cover Tracer's bad maps. I also dumped the system of improvement because it was impossible to focus on one thing for a whole game. I then was able to climb from Gold 4 to Plat 2 in about 3 days. I attributed this achievement to rapidly improving my Tracer by watching an unranked to GM from A10. But then I started doing a lot worse. I was missing out on easy picks because of my tracking. I started losing 1v1s against pretty much everyone. When I won games, I felt like I was carried, and that made me lose lots of self-esteem because I thought I improved my Tracer, yet was playing really bad. This is where I became convinced it's because of my aim and started doing aim training, but I didn't start doing any better. The first week was ending, and even though it flew through my mind a couple of times, now I was genuinely considering switching to tank because I wouldn't need to aim and could only focus on my game sense. This is where I got a perfectly timed comment from Coach Kobe, where he made a poker analogy about the long-term growth mindset. That's when I had a fucking eureka moment. Not a positive one, mind you. I realized that everything I did this week, drop Hanzo, dump the improvement system, it was all exactly the thing I was preaching against just a week ago. Yeah, sure, I didn't get upset with my teammates, but that toxicity leaked out in a different form. I convinced myself to drop one of my favorite characters in the game just because of a skill issue. I convinced myself that the system for improvement doesn't work, even though I used it for less than a day. In fact, I was very close to convincing myself to switch roles as a whole. Even though, in the past, I've clearly established to myself that I enjoy DPS 10 times more than the other roles. But because when making these terrible decisions, I always seem to be calm and collected, I never even questioned why I'm actually changing anything in the first place. The real reason is because my brain got the taste of climbing the ranks, and when it stopped, my brain scrambles to find quick fixes, when the actual solution is time. All of this stems from the word passion. Right after you miss the easiest pulse bomb of your life, or when you get diffed by the enemy Widow, you don't feel very passionate, do ya? Yet those brief moments stack up and make your brain think that you're doing something wrong and that something needs to change. But once you go through all the quick changes you can do, the only thing left to do is quit. And this has happened to me without realizing it in everything I've so far done in my life. Trying to get good at Smash, dropped. Trying to get good at game development, dropped. Trying to get in shape, dropped. And that's why the majority of Overwatch players are doomed to never improve. But you don't have to be. The only reason I realized it this time and not the other countless times is because there was an external factor, aka Coach Kobe's comment, which served as a reminder of the goal and resulted in self-reflection. That's why people who are regularly coached or surrounded by like-minded people are usually the ones who achieve things. It's because they have that external factor causing self-reflection and reminding them when their brain starts looking for quick solutions that they don't actually work. The first step to not get caught in these mind traps is that you need to do as much research about learning whatever you're doing and set very clear boundaries around it. In my case, it's that I enjoy Hanzo and Tracer, and I won't drop either one no matter what. And it was also the improvement system I learned from a pro Smash player. I previously already did this step, yet still got caught in that mind trap. The important step is the second one, where you have to stay within the boundaries that you set and have complete faith in them, since there's a 100% chance that there will be a time or a moment where you're not very passionate, to say the least. And during those moments, you need to realize what your brain is doing and understand that it's all just part of the process, and what you should do is just keep doing what you're doing. Because the only real cure is time. You absolutely have to realize that the way I did, because if you start doubting those boundaries that you set in the beginning, the ball will start rolling, and unless there's a really impactful external factor to stop it, you're gonna end up quitting. The only reason I'm here today saying this is because I was lucky that Coach Kobe responded to me and gave me a really impactful wake-up call. The thing that you should be looking for isn't passion, it's the connection to the goal that you set out to achieve. And guess what? Thinking of swapping mains is just one bump on the road to your goal. But a bump that you have to get over nonetheless. Because changing roads every time you see a bump will lead you to give up. And you've most definitely experienced it in your life too. If you want to see my boundaries I set for my road to GM, then watch my last video. And if you want to see my progress, then subscribe. I'm gonna make progress videos every 1 to 2 weeks, or if something really interesting or major happens, like this time. And see you in the next episode of Road to GM.